Hello, Pisces, and welcome to your July 2026 tarot card reading. We're just going to jump into the reading, and I hope you are doing well and are ready for some big energy coming. Here we go. Justice, Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, and the Star card. Wow, wow, wow. I like it. The World, Nine of Swords, Four of Swords, and the Hierophant. This is some big power, really. We've got four major arcana cards. We've got two aces, and we've got some swords. And we're waiting on those swords because those are our information. So let's talk about that first. So the Nine of Swords and the Four of Swords is really Mercury's energy. Mercury is retrograde and not going to go direct until the 23rd. So, there's some sleepless nights, there's some worry, there's some anxiety, and a little bit of fear that you've been dealing with, waiting for. Over here, you're a little bit more calm about it, but you're still in a timeout, something's paused. You're getting some clarity, you're finding that quiet space, getting away from people and influence and, misinformation and news that just keeps on spinning. And you're going to wait for the information to land so that you can assess it and then take your steps forward. That's what I see for sure. And I do know that the Justice card is showing up for you so that something can be corrected. There's a course correction going on for you. There's something that's going to be right. It's time to turn the table, so to speak, is what I'm getting at. There's been some misfortune, there's been some setbacks, and the Justice card is saying, I'm going to set the record straight. I am going to make sure that this is properly taken care of and that there is no doubt of what really happened and what was really said. And I'm going to make sure that that happens, for the sake of my integrity, right? So there's the Justice card coming out strong. But I want to come over here to the Star card because the Star card represents your long-term goals and wishes. And that is Aquarius's card. And there too, Uranus's card. And for you, I think it's going to have something to do with this full moon that's happening in Aquarius later this month on the 29th. It's going to bring some closure to something, which is what full moons do. But it's going to also be the impetus to get your journey with the North Node, because the North Node and the full moon are next to each other. So you're headed somewhere. This is fated direction. This is destiny. This is your North Star. I'm just calling it. And I just equate it to the North Node, understanding that the node is not a star. It's a node on the moon, but there's some synchronicity. There's a correlation that a literal correlation. I really love when it shows up. So this Star card, this North Node, is happening in your spiritual healing house, which is right here, the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the spiritual guide of tarot. And the house of spirituality is your domicile. It's the 12th house, Pisces. So while this is going to be an 18-month journey, right, it is going to be somewhat comfortable for you because it's familiar to you. You're okay with spending some time alone in solitude, figuring some things out, getting in touch with your spiritual side, healing. You're good with it. This is going to be a long journey just to release some baggage, the things that have been keeping you up at night and maybe even holding you back. You might identify triggers that puts you in a self-sabotaging habitat forming way, grabbing, your favorite snack, too much chocolate, whatever that is for you. But you'll find those triggers you're going to be aware of them. You want to fix them, and you're going to find your place of peace so that you can eliminate, which is what the 12th house is teaching us, letting go of, the habit forming, self-sabotaging things that we do when we're feeling low and not at our best. So it's going to be a heavy journey, but it won't be a horrible one, because there's going to be some peace made available to you, right? I do want to say one thing, though. There is something here in the Nine of Swords that tells me that this is old energy hanging around. And in the 12th house, when we're supposed to let go of things, there's grace and forgiveness. And you are so usually eager to forgive others, and you need to have that same practice for yourself, Pisces. Forgive yourself for not showing up the way you wanted to. Forgive yourself for not being your best. Forgive yourself for forgetting. Forgive yourself for whatever it is. You probably have a laundry list of them, and really that is something that needs to be handed over, to your higher power. Just lighten your load and take a deep breath and practice some spiritual and mind-body esoterical practices. Go to the spa. This is your time to do it during the North Node. So it won't be all doom and gloom. It will be enlightening. There will be some spiritual awakening things, which will give you an aha moment. Here's some aha moments right for you. Ace of Cups is an abundant new beginning, backed, by spirit. It's the hand of God. There's some new introduction coming your way or opportunity. The same with the Ace of Pentacles. It is financial abundance, something that's going to be able to help you with your journey and to support your personal goals so that you can grow. I like the fact that Jupiter is in your house of health, work, and daily routines. So that's where I'm going to end up on. And this is a healing card. Now, Jupiter activates everything he touches, and he expands everything he touches. It's optimistic energy, though. It's joy. And I like the fact that he is with you for 1 year. It is going to keep your spirits up. It's going to keep you optimistic. It's going to bring in some joy and some passion, and it's going to bring you to some successful cycles, some successful endings. And as far as this Justice card is concerned, this just might be the realignment. This just might be the journey on your North Node, where you are going to experience this spiritual awakening. And you will find that there is something very wise about choosing people or finding your people to stand next to you when you're on a journey and when you're on your new cycle. And that might be the awakening for you. All right, let me see if I can find one more card before we end. Yeah, Triumph. We'll take it. We like it. That's where your journey's ending, in triumph. If this resonated, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm wishing you all balance, peace, and harmony. Take care.